Well, the Fox News at Night Common Sense Department is disappointed by the argument underway in Oakland, California right now. Oakland residents are crystal clear they are tired of the rise in violent crime. Killings, rapes, robberies up 15%. That might not seem like a big number, but when you put it on top of already record crime stats, it's a big number. Yet the Alameda County District Attorney Pamela Price says complaining the crime is too high and that she's not doing enough is, quote, racism. Common sense finds that interesting, considering 50% of Oakland residents are black and Hispanic. And the people in Oakland most impacted by rising crime are black and Hispanic. And very notable and a prevalent group in Oakland says that residents are afraid to leave their homes and that it is not racist or unkind to be safe from crime. That notable group is the NAACP. And when they made the complaint, DA Price said she expected better. Oh, it gets worse. The Oakland mayor now says that complaints about escalating crime are, quote, political theater. Common Sense listened to a grieving young Asian mom in Oakland who lost her 23-month-old son to random gunfire. She didn't appear to be acting. She didn't appear to be racist. She appeared to be devastated. And it appears she's not alone. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Vikas Bajaj with more on this. Vic, in the Wall Street Journal, Heather McDonald writes the following about Oakland, quoting here, if a white person uses a gun during a crime or if a white gang member commits a robbery, he might face an enhanced sentence based on that gun use or gang membership. If the defendant is black, however, he will be charged at the lowest possible level to avoid disparate racial impact. So the goal is to protect black criminals, but in doing so, you're ignoring black victims.
That's right, and it's somewhat unfair, I think, to do a comparison of black defendants versus white defendants. There's a myriad of facts in every offense that can go into that calculus on how they're charged. But one common factor is charging decisions by liberal district attorneys. You can charge an attempted murder, for instance, Trace, as an assault with a deadly weapon, or even just what we'd call a naked assault, not a strike. And that's purely a charging decision. Now, for this district attorney to take the record and say, well, I was doing great according to all the polls and the pundits back then, but now I'm not doing so great, and it must be because I'm black. And that is a horrible message. It makes critics very fearful about coming out and being put in an indefensible position. Yeah. So really a slippery slope. We hope that ends quickly.
Meantime, the New Mexico governor, Lujan Grisham, is now suspended the right to carry a firearm in public in Alburquerque. And here's a back and forth with she and a reporter. Watch.
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carry license?
With one exception. And that is, if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers.
A lot of legal experts, Vic, say she's wrong. Where do you come down on this?
She's absolutely wrong. Nowhere in the Constitution, if you read it, if you go through any interpretation of the Constitution, does it have this executive order exception. This is something governors around the states like to hold on to believe they have the power to override the Constitution. Now, the constitutional cases that have come down by the United States Supreme Court here recently, a conservative majority, is an originalist construction. That means they look at the text and the words of the Constitution rather than a living, breathing one to read current topics or prerogatives in there. This, again, is a slippery slope. She knows it's unconstitutional. It will not pass legal challenges in any way, shape, or form, which makes one wonder why fight that fight other than the sound bits that are being proliferated around the country.
We're talking about crime. I want to put this up. We just got this video in. I haven't seen it yet. This is Northridge, a Macy's store that was robbed again by these retail gangs. Playing some of this video here. It's kind of unbelievable because we see this all the time. You see these young people. They are caught on camera. They go in, they destroy a store, they walk out with tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars of merchandise. Now you go to Chicago, and this is a rideshare driver who is being beaten. Almost, I mean, really, he was beaten with a cane by 3 riders, and they continued to beat him until they finally got tired and left him. He's going to live. They were also caught on tape Vic, and nobody gets caught. I mean, everybody gets caught on camera, and nobody gets caught, and it kind of amazes me. Is it just resources so low?
Well, no one's getting caught yet. Eventually, this will happen. This type of crime cannot go unpunished. You know, many of my colleagues in the United States Attorney's Office always tell me, Mr. Bajaj, when I'm defending someone, you know, we just can't ignore every crime, right? We have to prosecute everything. In this situation, it will catch up. You have the technology with the facial recognition software that's going to be proliferated not only to the state and local, but also to the feds. Once the feds get involved, action happens, unfortunately for the defendants, but fortunately for that community.
Yeah, and sometimes people just sit there and think, boy, they're just taking their sweet time trying to catch some of these people.
That's right.
Vic Bajaj, great to see you. Thank you.
Likewise, thank you.